11-2. Ppotdot has been a great runner of this game for a long time. You might have seen him play it at Summer Games Done Quick a couple of years ago. And it's really this sort of... It's almost like a simple Metroidvania, but it's a fun little platformer. It's an overlooked game. It's a lot of fun. There's a few of us that really love it, and we're going to get to see it. Ppot is on the Japanese version because, you know, like most games here, you know how it is. The Japanese version has some faster text. Yay. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how much time it saves, but it's a reasonable chunk. You can still play the game on English and learn it there just fine. You're not going to really, like, there's no Japanese version specific glitches or anything. It's all text. Always choose file 3. That's right. So I guess as soon as Ppot is ready, we are going to see Master Higgins go and rescue, I believe her name is Tina. Lore of this game is Higgins and Tina were off on their honeymoon, and whoa, a cyclone hit or something. So neither one really remembers who the other is, and our adventure kind of kicks off from there. Yeah, we're going to miss a lot of lore. It's going to be kind of weird. You're just going to kind of see them looking at each other, and if you can read the text, you'll get a lot of lore. It'll be great. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck with my memory of what's going on. So this is the opening room where Higgins gets to talk to the king and find out that his new queen has been kidnapped. It may or may not be Tina. Spoilers. But we are also talking to the king really for two reasons. One, we can't leave the room without talking to the king. You have to do it. We haven't figured out King Skip yet. Conveniently, the king does set us up with 100 gold for our quest, which is really nice because, well, we're going to need 100 gold later. We'll find out what that's for later. So the overworld is kind of like random encounter-esque. There are some paths, though, we've discovered that seem to not have any random encounters. Anytime you get a random encounter, and we'll see those later for sure, it's about 6 seconds. Yeah, it's kidnapped by definitely not Bowser. So, well, I was going to say Ppot's taking a very specific movement path through the screen to not get hit and still go fast, but as you can see, he has gotten hit. It is actually really tight to be able to get Higgins to punch these plants and move through them while they are in their iframes. An enemy in iframes does not have a hurt box to hit Higgins. I'm going to get my terms wrong. Just work with me here. But Higgins' fist is kind of a terrible weapon, so the first thing we're going to do is get a steel sword here. It's important to note, we call it equipment because it's slightly faster to menu up to get to it than to go down. Now, I believe from here, we're definitely going to go back up to grab a life upgrade. Each life upgrade gives you an extra half heart of health. It fills it up too. And Ppot's going to go for a skip here. Let's see if he actually can get it. So there's a few skips in this game where when you damage boost, you get knocked in the air slightly. Ppot's standing here because this fish jumping is pure RNG. You're getting the real SAI2 experience right here. You need to boost off this fish at the peak of its jump. This fish is definitely the marathon luck fish of the day. I mean, really, this is... Fish, please! Jump for us! Please! First try! So, if that fish, behaves, you save a lot of time. I think it's in the order of about 40 seconds for going up there. If it jumps right away. I don't know how long we just waited for it to jump. This is not Whipsy Woods. First boss of this game is actually not that bad. For the most part, a lot of things on this first island will not actually kill you. They'll knock you down to like 1 health or something like that. So all you really have to do with this tree is get right in its face and stab it to death. And then we get a stone that does a thing. And then we get lore where Higgins and Tina somehow have visions of each other. and they're talking, and it's like, oh hey, you look kind of familiar. Oh hey, you're kind of cute, and this grows as the game goes on. That was actually a pretty good fight. So that stone we got. If you look at the world map here, there's I think about 7 islands, and they're separated by these kind of gates, these like coral reefs sticking up out of the sea. And if you take the stone you just got, and you come here and you use it, you have to be standing still to use it for some reason, but it lowers the gate, opening up more of the world, and that's pretty much how the game goes on. Now, most of the islands also have sort of a required item to get in. That's why Ppot's going to skip, I believe this is Boa Boa Island for the moment, and go to this side cave, which definitely doesn't have a giant lizard that you have to stab in the head a lot. Good job. We're doing a jump stab not just because of that. It's actually a little bit faster to do jump stabs. That said, its weak spot's the head, so whatever. So now we get into encounter RNG. Good. It's good that we got none so far, because like I said, it's about 6 seconds every time. So here's the thing about the snow island up here. I think it's Haya Haya. It's blocked by a giant rock. Oh, here's our encounter. So an encounter screen, it's kind of Zelda 2-esque. You're on a screen, you just get to the edge and hopefully don't die. Usually it's easier to go left. It's as fast to go right if you can make it through whatever pattern appears. I'm not going to recommend you take a shot every time there's an encounter, because we would want the audience to survive the run. And thank you for that clip. So there's a giant rock at the beginning of Haya Haya, and well, we can't get past it. There's really only one way to get past it, and that is to pay an old man 100 gold, which we conveniently received from a king earlier, to learn how to push rocks. I wish I was joking, but now Higgins can push rocks. He learns the secret technique of using his center and becoming the immovable object to move the immovable. I don't even know anymore. He just pushes things now. It works. Just work with me here. So we do have to go back now, get the ice bell so we can enter the island. And that is right here, behind a giant rock. See there? Look at that technique. It's perfect. It's great. We have an ice bell now. The man had three beards because he had to put on a fake beard to hide his identity, so that when we went after him for teaching us how to push rocks, we wouldn't know who he was. Are we up to 4 or 5 encounters? It is possible to get none. It's exceedingly rare. So we get to go here and use the bell. And we're going to get this wrong because it's been a little while. But if you're playing this on the English version, you see that ice wall on the right. The actual text on the English cart, I believe, is "The ice giant cometh and breaketh downeth the dooreth." I wish every island had something that cool to say. Either way, this island, that little ice wall is gone, and we can now actually enter the level. We immediately want to do another damage boost off a bunny here. Do we get the bunny boost? It gave us a late boost. You can see that chest that's currently over Higgins' head. There's some more clouds to the right. There you go. That's the easy one to get to. This gives us the flame sword. Fire sword is required to break this ice wall that Ppot's about to get to. Right there. That's literally the reason to get it. Also, it's required to beat the boss of this island because it's encased in ice. Blue licorice is impossible to grab, but it does help you climb up. So this island is kind of defined by the fact you have to do a loop. You saw Ppot hit a switch on the first island, and if you were paying attention, kind of transparent-looking blocks became, well, less transparent, and by virtue of that, solid. There's a switch for blocks with different sort of runes on them on every island, and the star blocks here, we need them to not exist so we can push another block to go down and smash an ice floor so we can actually reach the boss. Ppot's going to grab the fire armor here because, well, armor is good. It's good to take less damage. That's a very tight jump because you need to not bonk on the ceiling if you want to make that without pushing the ice pillar over there to get to it. So nice job getting that on the first try. There's the star block switch. The fun thing about this is we need to hit it again on the way back so we can get to some other items later. Every island has, well, potentially those blocks on them. They can exist anywhere, and that's the one switch in the entire game that actually will make them either, you know, translucent and not so solid, or solid and get in your way. We need to make them not solid to get this block. Ppot is going to grab a heart here. There's a tight jump out of here. Good job. There's a false floor there between the blocks and that ledge, which just sends you back to the start. Doesn't do anything bad outside of cost you a lot of time. It's just really annoying. So Ppot now is going to be just navigating back to the boss of this level. So the boss is a kind of mammoth encased in ice. You need the fire sword to break it out, at which point you kind of attack the nose to get him to kind of retract it and just stab him in the face a lot, at which point you get another Tina cutscene, another stone that opens up the game a little more. Not much to really say about the rest of this section. Money for the rest of the game is actually not important. There is a casino if you're doing hundo, but hundo is crazy. We do want to take the Mastodon out here before it charges. At least I think you can do it once. Either way, just jump slashes on the forehead. Really, that's the only spot it's vulnerable. There we go. Yeah, that is certainly a trunk. More Tina lore. I think the weird thing about this on English is sometimes it's not clear who's actually talking. So it's just like, oh, hey, it's you. Either way, shouts to Tina. So this opens up the wall on the right. Another 6 seconds. Rip. So a couple of things are going to happen here. The obvious one is that Ppot is going to get the magic wand, which gives him a magic bottle and the ability to basically cast a few spells. Each time you get another magic bottle in this game, you do learn a new spell. And we want to get 4 bottles because that gives us the warp spell that lets us kind of teleport into the middle of an island later on. We didn't really see it yet, but every island has a couple of like hot springs that heal you up, and those actually serve as warp points for later on. We also need this sun ring to have a volcano erupt and knock down the entrance to the next island. The next island is, of course, that volcanic island we saw earlier, so there's going to be a lot of lava on it. And there's a tight damage boost there. That's why we have been picking up the extra, health as we've been going along. Because, picking up health is kind of slow to go out of your way to go and get it. But this damage boost, I think, saves, I'm just going to say a lot of time. Let's go with that. It saves a lot of time. Kind of staying close to the start island to not take damage. I'm going to get yelled at for getting the island names wrong. I'm not even going to try and get them right. I could guess I could Google them later, but I think this just says the volcano erupted and blew down the door. Yay. I wish I knew a volcano that was this precise, that it literally does no damage except knocks down one door. Yo, shoutouts to Meta Sigma, who is crazy enough to run hundo. We love you. So, as I said, we got some damage boosting going on here. You actually want to get here quickly because this dragon will pretty much shoot to the music, and you can see Ppot has like no health left. But we have a magic bottle to show for our troubles. Don't worry about that kind of weird looking thing there for the moment. Oof. These enemies will kill Ppot right now if he gets hit by him. Gonna hit this switch. So now those blocks that were holding up that magic bottle, they don't exist anymore. Ppot is crazy. It's skipping the health hot spring and going straight to the island. So I guess I should explain this now too. These kind of passageways, there's 2 on every island, and they basically go between the neighboring islands. So we're back on the starting island. So there is an ice sword here that was behind the blocks from the Boa Boa switch. And it takes, I think, about a minute or so to get it. With the ice sword, the boss of Boa Boa, the Mega Man 7 turtle, is... Get that health. Takes 3 cycles with the ice sword. It takes 10 cycles with really any other weapon. Here's our ice sword, as promised, behind those blocks. Most of these chests that we're skipping have, like, money or ranged weapons that do not help us throughout the run beating this game. So after all that, it's all the way back. The path to the Mega Man 7 turtle is blocked by 5 switches in these sort of vertical shafts. That health, easy to get, also a nice refill. That should be the last health upgrade Ppot gets in the run. That one, I think, is less like needed for anything specific outside of just a refill. So again, you can see the translucent blocks. We need to find the other 4 of these purple switches. They're all in these vertical shafts, and the boss is at the bottom of one of them, so it's really convenient to just go that one last. This is the other health spring here. We just have to go in that door to activate it for later. So I know Meta's out there in chat, and I saw that there was some sort of weird, really weird vertical screen scrolling mistake, glitch. I don't know that happened. So I don't know. If somebody wants to help us break this game open, that might be a thing in the near future. Ppot, come on. Find the platforms. We believe in you. Oh. Well, there's something. I think he was trying to get my attention there. So once we get this one extra switch here. Oh, we didn't get the thing? You're gonna have to explain it in chat because I don't know it yet. But that opens up that last passage at the bottom of this. Just boost across some lava because everybody loves damage boosting across lava. Those health drops are really good because the boss of this stage hits like a truck. You really don't want to get hit by it. So, yeah. You can either ride that stone or you can grab that health so you actually survive this. The health spell that Ppot has restores maybe about 2/3 of a heart. It's not very much. I'm surprised he didn't... He got all the other health, but didn't get that one. At the same time, the Mega Man 7 turtle here, so named because Mega Man 7 Wily 2 has a similar looking turtle, which we call the Super Adventure Island 2 turtle. There's no RNG here. It's just that each cycle is like 55 seconds. You can duck under that. You don't have to use the spell, but it is convenient. Well, you need a better truck if the truck does not hit hard. I also don't know what sort of parent this turtle really is, because it's like throwing the baby turtles at you. Baby turtles also hurt. That was one full cycle. And it's back. So you really get to sit through this. So imagine, if you didn't spend that minute to get the ice sword, you get to go through 10 of these. Yeah. What face is about right? This isn't Mama Turtle, this is Mega Man 7 Turtle. Part of the boss exchange program. The best strat really is to kind of stay underneath the turtle, just kind of see where the babies get thrown. It's the easiest way to kind of dodge them. Seriously, go watch Wily 2 of Mega Man 7 later. It's a very similar turtle boss. Hey! So, that was that. So now I believe the next thing we pick up in this route is the power fan. Whatever it is, it creates a hurricane that conveniently only knocks down a single door and lets you onto the next island. It takes a really long time to get to it, though. It's kind of out of the way. We also need to get the most important item, a shovel. These are all kind of in the top right area of the map, and the next island's in the bottom right area of the map. So the plan is to get enough damage to basically do a death warp later. We're going to intentionally take a death, go back to start just a little bit. These dragons and seagulls actually do a lot of damage. There's one more mid-boss on the way, so I'm guessing Ppotdot wants to kind of hang on to health for marathon luck at this point. Because weird things happen, and you don't want to go on this RNG-laden quest again. If you actually get no encounters on the way back, it actually is faster to do that. But since we're very likely to get encounters, and we know a path from start to the next island that is guaranteed to have no encounters, it's almost always faster to just take the intentional death. The saber-toothed tiger, as opposed to the lizard from earlier, doesn't have that sort of armor. I guess his tank top here provides no defense. That chest falls wherever you're standing, so in that and that lizard fight earlier, you kind of want to be as far to the left as possible so you can just pick up the item and leave. There's the damage boost. Those like mini pterodactyls are crazy. Oh god. Okay, we got the hold left encounter. Good. Good. Hey! So that's the shovel. For whatever reason, the most important quality of the shovel is that you cannot be wearing armor while you're using it. Higgins also stands at half height while he's equipped with the shovel. Fortunately, every time you switch away from the shovel, the game remembers what armor you had equipped and immediately puts it all back on. So back at start, like I said, he's going to take an exact path here. I mean, to be perfectly honest, as exact as this path is, it's also the most obvious path to kind of take. But yeah, no encounters. This island is kind of defined by the way there's a lot of small one-screen sections, and then it actually goes back to the overworld, to these sort of whirlpools that connect other areas of the island. As opposed to one overarching stage, there's, oh, you know, a little overworld thrown in. Shoutouts to steel drums. If you go up there, you get to the casino. That is Metasigma's favorite place. That's where all the RNG of Hundo is, because there's a few items you can only buy there. And they cost way too much money, and there's a casino, and you get to watch racing penguins. It's the best part of the game. Go give it a shot. Whenever you're bored, it's awesome. One of the other things Ppotdot's going to do here, actually, in the water areas is kind of skipping along the surface. You have a very small window when you enter the water to jump again and not lose your jump momentum, which is useful for, well, going faster. By the time this island's over, we will have the aqua armor, which also lets us move at normal speed in the water. I think we still want to do these run jumps once we have that, but at least we lose a lot less time wearing that if we lose it. Hat slats! The hat slats! Okay, yeah, slots are good. So believe on this screen we get the aqua armor. I'm not going to equip it right away because, well, we don't want to take that much damage right now anyway. And the fewer times we have to enter the menu, the better. And we're going to get the Thunder Sword pretty soon. It is pretty good. And we are going to get it pretty soon. Whoops. So these springs you may have noticed earlier kind of have this jump on it once, twice, 3 times, you get different height jumps. Second try, get that kind of exact jump. Might as well heal up while we're here. Basically, well, we need to warp back to these points later. Just trust me on that for now. So all that water on the bottom of the screens, you've seen a lot of screens on this island so far have had this sort of shallow water at the bottom. The next stop here is to get a switch that will lower that water. Of course, the switch that does that is behind this island's blocks. So we gotta go hit that switch too. You are not seeing things. Ppotdot is actually landing on these sort of moving platforms, getting hit by seagulls and not getting popped in the air. I guess the game thought it would be nice to not knock you off the platform when you took damage, so it's nice and convenient to get hit there so you don't get this sort of 2-second knockback. Dig and jump dig. Let's go. Good to dig out the whole thing just so you can run out. You can, I believe, dig down? It's been too long. So yeah, all the water is gone now. I think I got it backwards. You hit the water and then you hit the, what is it, the moon switch here? There we go. You can dig directly under yourself. It's kind of, yeah, you're supposed to be like digging only down and in front of you, but if you're on like the corner of a block, you can dig directly down. Should be noted, you activate those switches by sitting on them and pushing down, and Ppotdot is clearly jumping through them. If you mash down, you can trigger the switch anyway. So one thing here, don't forget the magic bottle. We want to get up to 4. The boss of our little beach resort island here is a giant octopus. It's possible to one-cycle the giant octopus, and hopefully we'll get to see that. Basically, there's a lot of tentacle attacks, and then you need to stab the one tentacle that comes up with the rest of it, and that sort of opens up the weak spot. And the more you stab it, the longer the cycle lasts. So doing damage here actually is what enables you to, well, do more damage. The game actually tries to do something here where the more this battle goes on, the squid starts spreading ink, trying to make the water darker. But if you let it go too far, you can still see it attacking. It's weird. Yeah, the attack pattern here is 2 sets of those 3 sort of orbs being sent through the air. Oh god. So once all those orbs come out, you kind of know you're running out of time. That was really good. So yeah, that was one cycle squid. Good work. At this point, I think the game designers ran out of other ideas for what you could use to knock down something at the start of an island, especially if it's a desert island with a bunch of pyramids. So you can just walk on to the next island. It should be noted, you're probably seeing these blocks that have either up arrows or down arrows on them. There are another pair of old men living on beaches someplace in this game. One was actually down there, and one's going to kind of be here. That for large sums of money will teach Higgins an up stab and a down stab. Not only are they not useful moves to up, they're actively hindrances. Since you much like Zelda 2, you hold down in a jump to use the down stab. Another weird property of this game, though, is if you're holding down, even without that, Higgins will not move horizontally, and that's going to be very useful later. Welcome to the desert. Don't bite this. Don't touch the snakes. It's bad. This island also has some like flashing blocks here that, depending on the color, you can either jump very high or very low. The blue gives you a low hop, yellow a medium hop, and the red will send you into those spikes on the ceiling. And spikes hurt. Go figure. Higgins does not like to spike. Here there are some star blocks. Remember that star switch we hit way back when in the snow? We need that to get the magic bottle here so we can teleport around right after this island. We also need to come up here to activate this island switch so we can actually move into the second half of the pyramid. The neat thing is actually also we can use that teleport immediately, so if anything bad happens on this island, we'll be able to teleport to the midpoint. So there is the aforementioned ability to dig straight down. There are a bunch of different paths through here, and all the rest of the paths don't lead to the rest of the island, so we don't care about them. Come on, grab the chain. I believe in you, Higgins. All right. We should be good now. The music in this game actually is really good. Last island has the best music, but we'll get there later. So it is possible to kind of perfectly land your jumps here so that Higgins immediately starts kind of ledge clipping and running along it. So you want to go for that sort of movement here, just to save little chunks of time. So the rest of the pyramid here is kind of a death maze. You get kind of this elevator going along a track. But there's a couple of safe spots over the spikes, and you can jump to these weird spots. Running over here is going to trigger this bat. And damage boost, we can get to this switch without going along the entire track. So this gives us access to... Is this the legendary axe, the power axe? It's an axe. It's kind of the traditional Adventure Island axe. So you can kind of throw it in an arc. And the axe is great because the axe will actually kill this next boss. Axe is actually a pretty good weapon. We're only going to get one more weapon after this. So there's a jump to save a little bit of time. So here should be a jump over, stab it into iframes, and use the health for its iframes. And now instead of riding that elevator all the way around, we can immediately fight the mummy. So if you don't touch that stray bandage, it hurts. Don't touch the hands, they hurt. If you run under a hand, it drops. Each hand, I want to say it has 16 hits from the axe before it goes away. Then you need to kind of hit the ball that constitutes the body, I guess, another 16 times. And then you work on the head. The head, you kind of hope comes down and lets you stun lock it to death. Otherwise, it kind of sends these snowflakes after you that block axes and are just bad. So there's the stun lock. Nice. Well done. This gives us, I believe it's dubbed the Elven Flute in the US version. So remember, like, you might have seen a couple of these, like, sort of stone structures with symbols on them and doors. Those monuments, if you enter them with the flute, actually unlock a new section of the level. And we want to go to those sections right now so we can get the 5 spells that open up the final island. Yeah, this game, it's a fun little speed game. There's not many tricks, but it's a lot of fun. The music's great. It's good platforming, and you can kind of see the Metroidvania angle to a lot of what's going on here. Like that treasure chest up there, you need to have all the switches hit to be able to get up there and get that item. So, like, playing this game casually is a whole lot of fun. This was a great blockbuster rental, like, in the mid-90s. So Pot's kind of looking to see if we get magic drops or if we get health drops. Because the next room, it's another elevator over Spike's room. And anything that kind of grants a little extra health for a little leeway or a little extra magic is good. Yeah, you want to make that jump over here, just save more time rather than take the ride all the way. And yeah, fish skip's crazy. But it's a few seconds, but it's not critical to completing the game fast. Just faster. So this is going to be the one of these islands going from monument to monument that we don't warp to. We want to actually take the transport here. And the transport's actually back near where that bat swooped down so we can get the early axe earlier. There's an awkward sentence for you. Since on the snow island, the midpoint that we would want to teleport to is really out of the way. It's in a bad location, but this sort of any road type thing, this hidden passage, actually goes right to our stone monument. There we go. The only bad thing about this one is it's full of blue licorice, the bane of our existence. You can't grab it. It's impossible. No one's ever grabbed this licorice before. Literally nobody. So Ppotdot again here. The rest of the game, we have a lot of death warps. Since these spells are kind of deep on the islands with nothing really need them, and we need to quickly get back to the overworld map in order to teleport around. So, Spiky Turtle, do your thing. Rip. So from here, it doesn't really matter if you do the volcanoes or the beach first. You just want to do that starting island last, since it's closest to the final island. So this spell is kind of hidden behind a bubble puzzle. You get kind of trapped in a floating bubble and float through the spike maze. Hooray. Fortunately, spikes do tons of damage, so it's really easy to get a death warp at the end of this. Hardest part, honestly, is making sure you make it to the end quickly and don't, death warp back to the start of this island without it. I love the nostalgia in chat for this too. I don't think I think I like twice entered a Hollywood video. We were a Blockbuster family. See, lots of damage boosting here just to be able to run around since the bubble is slow. Only bad thing is, getting knocked out of the bubble or getting hit by an enemy, of course. You get into iframes, and then you can't get into the next bubble. Nice squeeze there to get between that enemy and the spikes. You can see just how much damage those spikes do. Next spell, again, across a lot of lava. So kind of a similar thing from earlier. We want to just run across it. Of course, now we have all the extra health to do it with. Also have the axe to just make short work of everything. This island, he got a large magic bottle already, didn't he? So there's one weird thing about this one. There is an extra magic bottle here. You can get a fifth one, which mostly doesn't do much, but now that we actually have full magic, getting that bottle will let us teleport back to the start of this island instead of having to death warp to the start of it. And then we can just, save the entire game over screen and everything else. On top of that, we have a little extra magic because that healing spell, it's not that useful, but, it's nice to have it. Now you only need to find one magic bottle to be able to access it, as a refill instead of two. Ta-da! There we go. Oh my god, console rental deposits. Yeah, they were a thing. So again, we're looking for a magic drop so we can teleport to the start of this island. It's really painful sometimes when you're like at the last screen of this little mini section and just literally slaughtering everything in your path, respawning them by scrolling the screen back and forth. Shoutouts to 55 coins, by the way. Looking for the one magic bottle you need to warp to the start of this island because nothing hurts on this island, especially with armor at this point in the game. Shouts to Mr. Owl. You need to hit that switch so you can... I guess this is like a disappearing block puzzle, except it's branches. So yeah, familiar looking screen, except this time we get a spell and just warp back to start. The last island is mostly full of deadlier versions of enemies you've seen before. I'm going to let you enjoy the music for a little bit. That and, let's be honest, I needed a drink after all that talking. So, you can kind of figure out what's happening here. Just kind of hitting these leaves to trigger these tomato, pumpkin things, whatever they are. These wooden logs in the bridge actually will disappear if you stand on them too long, so you don't want to just run through here. There is sort of a set path you want to take through here to do it quickly. I believe there's a damage boost he might be going for near the end. There it is. Ppotdot, so confident in the run, not going anywhere near that health refilling checkpoint. Just going for this bubble. He's going to try and squeeze under another cloud or a fox pretty soon. There it is. Saves a bunch of time. And again, right, these enemies are from the first island, except everything here hits a lot harder than it should. So it actually is true. Not going for that checkpoint is a little dangerous. Ppot stays far away from that fox. The second one is the only one you can run under. So one more weapon you need to get. The power sword is on the top right here, above that door. It's just another sword, like all the other ones, except this one's purple. This one can, for whatever reason, destroy boulders. There are exactly 2 boulders it works on in the game, and, well, one of them is right here. The other one, I think, blocks a magic jar. We do definitely want to enter this hot spring. The health refill is nice, but, well, I don't know why we would want to warp back towards what is clearly the final boss's door. I'll leave that up to you. Birds are jerks. The universal rule of speedrunning. So this eagle, listen for it. You can kind of hear that it's about to dive, and it kind of dives at Higgins. So you want to quickly run behind it, going from left to right, and jump and stab it in the back like that. I forget exactly how many stabs it takes, but you basically want to take it out before it runs out of eggs. Otherwise, you get into an infinite dive pattern, and you can figure it out and make it work, but it's not fun. Baby is throwing energy beams here. Yeah, it's like 20-something or whatever it is. I'll go with what Metasigna says. But, you know. The babies take 10 hits. These babies are no joke. Either that or that egg is a powerful piece of armor. Light sword can one cycle it. Oh my goodness. That's the casino weapon, right? 25 hits with the power sword. Thank you, Ppot. See, now it's like diving backwards because it's out of eggs, and the fight just gets really screwy. And we rescue Tina, who... Hang on. Wait for it. Oh, we got an item for some reason. We rescue Tina, who's totally had brown hair in all the cutscenes up till this point in the game. I won't lie, this is the bathroom break of the run. Nothing you can do here except watch text scroll by, and this is why you play that Japanese cart. Oh no, it's lightning bolts. So, for whatever reason, there has to be one more boss. I guess it was in the budget. There's an unnamed mysterious phantom that was behind the whole thing. The plot to kidnap one woman from a castle, I guess, whatever. Yeah. So they get to yell at each other, and the phantom takes Tina, you know, above the sky or something. They're saying thick, but it's a cloak. Come on. So they went into the sky, and clearly there's no way to do that. It's impossible. It can't be done. But you know, this guy here at the castle, he knows. Legend holds there's a bell that can lead its owner to the sky, and it happens we just got a sky bell from the eagle. He knows this legend is true because he read about it in the Inquirer. Can't be denied. It must be true. And I mean, we did just get an item named the Sky Bell, so let's give it a shot. No magic drop, so we won't be able to heal in the fight. That's why we stop in that one hot spring, just specifically to warp to this location. Help me, Green Mario. It's so true. Higgins definitely looks like Luigi. Let's be honest. Mario is Red Higgins. So the Phantom just takes a bunch of hits. Gets a lot of iframes. Uses this sort of spiraling fireball attack for a while. Does shoot that one spark you have to duck under. This boss can be killed with the shovel, and Ppotdot will hate us if we make him do it. So I guess we're not making him do it. I don't... Who's on tech? Who allowed him to not use the shovel for this fight? Either way, second half, well, second phase, I guess. The Phantom kind of splits in two, and you have to take out the bottom one before it shoots more fireballs, and it's easy. So despite the fact this top half flashes, it does not have iframes. Just keep stabbing it. And done. Okay, maybe not done. Maybe there's a scorpion phase. I don't know why there's a scorpion phase. And well, the location of this fight just raises even more questions. What's really going on here? Why is there a giant eye in space? Who built a castle on the moon? I mean, whatever. So, fortunately, you start directly underneath it, And remember what I was saying earlier about if you don't have down stab? Well, even if you do have it, when you're holding down, Higgins has no horizontal movement in a jump. That lets you jump straight up underneath the Scorpion's eye between the pincers, where it conveniently moves anyway. So you can just hold down, mash back and forth, and stab to your heart's content. There's a little more logic to the technique Ppotdot's using for taking it down, but if you just stab a lot and learn the game, you'll get it. So from here, you do want to just stab it as much as possible, since you can kind of see the games flashing and freezing up for a little bit every time we hit it. And that's time. One stab. Come on. And we're falling back down. I guess from space and the moon. We've rescued Tina, who still has brown hair now. And by this point, you know, they've seen each other in these visions enough time. They remember, oh yeah, we got married. Oh, but where's the king? Oh, it's cool. He escaped earlier. It's all right. So we just kind of explain away everything. Hope that nobody's lying about the crazy old man who lives in the start. And wait, she's a blonde now. I give up. Papa, you told me this game would be okay if I commentated it. Nothing weird would happen, but okay. Okay. So that's Super Adventure Island 2. It's a great game. We highly recommend it. Go give it a shot. There's a lot more content in this game, just kind of, you know, running and jumping. But it's fun. It's quick. It's horribly underrated. Go play this video game. 48-45. That sounds pretty good. I'm like searching through speedrun.com here, looking for games I've played with adventure in their name, and there's way too many of them.
Yo, what's up, Cab?
Yo, Ppotdot. What'd I miss?
I don't know. I assume you saw everything.
I mean, that's a pretty hefty assumption. But
Fish skip.
Fish skip.
He didn't want to jump. He refused to jump.
Would you think it's that far of a reach to say that this run would have easily been a massive world record if not for the fish?
I mean, that's a pretty hefty statement, but I'm not going to say that it couldn't have been on pace to be world record if Fish
totally
would have been better. I did have some semi-bad encounter luck in a couple of spots, but like it was overall fine. Fish just refused to jump at all.
You heard it here, everybody. Fish hates SNES superstars.
Yeah, he does. 100%. Fish's worst enemy. I tried to go for I don't know if you caught it. I was trying to get the early magic bottle in Boa Boa.
Yeah.
I messed up the setup a little bit. I was a little bit too high, so I just decided at that point, well, it's not worth like falling all the way down and trying to go for it again.
Oh yeah, the screen scroll thing. That's like still new enough to me. I'm not overly familiar with it, but yeah.
The screen scroll and the early magic bottle has been known about for a while. I just haven't been doing it because it's still fairly inconsistent, and it's hard to get it to save time, really. Like the magic bottle that one replaces is the one in Puka Puka, where you go back left and then go right before the shovel rooms.
Oh yeah, that one takes a little while to get.
Yeah, like that's where the Boa Boa early magic bottle would save time, but it's still hard to get, and it doesn't save a ton of time over just going for that one.
Yeah, it's still pretty swaggy, so you gotta go for it. It's for the fans.
Yeah, for the fans.
I said the ice giant cometh and breaketh down at the doorth.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
you
that.
reminded me to mention that he heard about it in the Inquirer. I think I got everything. And Mega Man 7 Turtle.
Yes, that's you got all the important things. Did you get shaded by the moon?
I didn't get shaded by the moon, but I remembered to tell everyone that Meta Sigma is insane for going for Hundo, and we love him.
Oh yeah. We love you, Sigma, but we sometimes worry for your sanity. That's all we're gonna say on that one.
It's okay. We buy him sushi. Thanks for the run.
Yeah, thanks for commentating. It was fun.
Sweet.
And thank you both of you for the run and commentary. My name is Elnis. I'll be hosting for this morning, evening, night, whatever you want to call this time area. Next up, we have Clock Tower by Odysseus doing Noel Landon's run. That should be getting started shortly. We'll be joined in just a moment. When we're a little bit ahead of schedule, there are a little bit more work we have to do on our end to get the next run going, but that's okay. It is a good thing to be ahead. We have a lot of runs coming up. We have, after Clock Tower, we have 2 Super Metroid style runs. We have Super Metroid by A Real Cutie doing the quote-unquote beginner, quote-unquote in very large sense, beginner route, or old route, which is Kraid, Phantoon, Draydon, Ridley, which is kind of the intended boss order. They will not be taking an intended path, though, as obviously that would be very slow. Following that will be Super Metroid Redesign Randomizer by Elminster. And I believe that Elminster may actually be the developer of that randomizer as well. For those of you who don't know what Super Metroid Redesign is, Super Metroid Redesign is essentially a redesign of Super Metroid with a lot of mechanics borrowed from the Metroid Prime series. It was originally developed as a love letter to Metroid Prime in a ROM hack form. Following those 2 runs will be Marvel Superheroes in War of Gems, any percent, and then following that will be a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past any percent run by Error, and that one will be at 6:30. Estimate is sub 1:30. Error is an extremely good player, so it's going to be a very enjoyable run. And then the final game in my hosting will be Mega Man X Randomizer, but unknown availability.